Here he is on the Invader Coffee guest line. Ryan McCarthy joining us with a big fat Irish smile this morning. What's going on, my friend?
Who are you calling fat?
Somehow I walked into that again. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, you did.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good to see you too. I enjoyed my weekend. I
Good.
watched. Well, last Sunday I watched Air. We did a review on Air last Monday. I know crunch was required, and I decided to go back and watch The Last Dance again.
Okay.
And I had this thought in my mind this morning as I'm getting ready for work. If you had to go back in time and you had to profile a specific team during an era, such as what ESPN and Netflix did with The Last Dance, what team and what era would you concentrate your documentary on, your docuseries
80s
on?
49ers.
How did I know?
80s 49ers.
How did I know?
Well, that's the team that got me started on football.
True.
They're the team that, look, Montana to Clark. Do I need to say anything else? The catch. And besides, it won me it won me some cupcakes and some cookies that week in school. So that's the team I'd profile. What about you? What would be your team?
I have several.
Okay.
The 1980s Edmonton Oilers. That dynasty. That's one of them.
Yari Curry, Wayne Gretzky,
Grant Fuhr, Andy Moog, Dave Semenko,
and the bad
Smith,
part
Mark
is,
Messier.
And the bad part is Edmonton got me. Even I'm a Blackhawks fan, but Edmonton got me started in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton Oilers got me started in hockey because, to continue on that subject, if there's one, what's the one team that you knew was good and knew was championship material, but also drove you absolutely nuts? For me, that would be the Edmonton Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the Edmonton Oilers and the Chicago Blackhawks are the two reasons I love hockey.
For me, it was the Pittsburgh Penguins. Especially during the early 90s with Mario, Jágr.
Jágr.
Yeah.
Who was in that? Tom Barrasso?
Tom Barrasso was goaltender. Yeah. Larry Murphy.
Brian
Trottier.
Brian Trottier.
He joined them in a trade. The Islanders wound up trading him. I think they either wound up trading him or he was a free agent and he went to the Penguins and won 2 cups with them.
I hated the Pittsburgh Penguins because the first time I finally got to see my Blackhawks in a Stanley Cup final, who did we run into?
The Pittsburgh Penguins. Buzzsaw. Well, I read reason why because I couldn't stand this one kid in high school and he was just kind of a jerk to me and was a Pittsburgh Penguins fan.
Oh, there you go.
You know what though? I mean, after high school, I kind of got over it, and I came to appreciate the genius that was Mario Lemieux because he had so many tools for a hockey player that like he was a power forward without being a power forward. He didn't get into fights. He didn't take too many penalties. He was just a natural scorer who was just a big dude.
Yeah, he was.
And he was fast and he was graceful on the ice too.
And a lot of people wouldn't think that Mario was that graceful, but you have his skills. You pair him with Jágr.
Yep. Rick Tocchet, Kevin Stevens.
There's a name I haven't heard in a while. Rick Tocchet.
Kevin Stevens.
Kevin Stevens. A team I would love to profile.
And Joey Mullen.
Joey Mullen.
Well, up until a few years ago, he was the top ranked the U.S. hockey scorer of all time until Patrick Kane broke that record.
And they had the old school Penguins logo on their sweater.
Mm-hmm.
They had the old school Penguins logo on their sweater.
The skating penguin.
To go modern. The skating penguin. See, logos like that struck fear into you.
As a New Jersey Devils fan. Yeah, as a New Jersey Devils fan, I was definitely, You definitely. I mean, you didn't. You respected them, but you didn't. I mean, you feared them,
but you didn't like them.
So much talent. It's so much talent on that team. It was ridiculous. Ugh.
And what's unfair, they kept getting more talent.
Mm-hmm. And then 1993 comes along, and the New York Islanders, probably the most monumental upset of the time of that era, beats them in 7 games and beat them in overtime.
You just don't do that to those Pittsburgh Penguins. You just don't do that.
No.
But see, the biggest reason I got into hockey, I mentioned the Edmonton Oilers, but it was a regular season game against the Chicago Blackhawks. And I heard part of the call with Pat Foley, who was doing the simulcast at the time with Dale Talon. It was 4-1. I swear to God, it was 4-1 when Mom and Dad shut it down and told me and Nicole, my sister, okay, y'all got to go to bed. Got to go to school in the morning. Why am I waking up hearing a crowd roaring on WMAQ, and they're talking about the Blackhawks game, and I hear the words miraculous comeback, and my ears perked up. I went, wait, how?
Yeah.
They won that game 6-4, and they were dancing along the aisles in the old Chicago Stadium. You know a team I'd love to take a look at? Your Devils, 1995.
Yep. 95 through 2003. Yeah.
I'd love to take a look at that dynasty.
And the one thing about that era, about that New Jersey Devils era, is that everyone called it boring hockey because they instituted the neutral zone trap. But a lot of teams did that too, but they didn't do as effectively as the New Jersey Devils back in the day. I don't call it boring hockey. I call it joyless murder puck. That's what I call it.
I call it fundamentally sound hockey.
Yeah.
And this is from a fellow who hasn't skated a day in his life, but I've watched hockey for 40 years now, almost 40 years. Because how did Edmonton, and there was always that one thing that teams would get you with. How would Edmonton get you? They'd swarm you with their speed. This past Blackhawks dynasty, speed and skill. The Penguins were just powerful.
Vegas, how did they do it? Size, speed, and skill. The 3 S's.
And 4 lines.
And good goaltending too. Timely goaltending with Aiden Hill.
4 productive lines also. And they had everything that they wanted to on that team. Wouldn't be surprised if they ran it back. But you mentioned taking a look at the Chicago Bulls dynasty. Is there a year in particular you wanted to look at? Because I don't need the documentary. I lived it. Did you get a visitor?
My cat just walked in.
I was going to say, did you get a visitor?
Yes. Yeah, he's here. No, and he's walking out because he hates clothes. He hates when my door is ajar. he whines at it. I'm like, dude, it's open. And he just sitting. No, he's gone. I can close it again.
He's gone.
He'll be back in a minute or two with the door open.
Oh, I know.
Open the door.
I know.
And yes, Victor, we did cuss on air. Sorry.
What? We said fundamentals. So
we said fundamentals. We're not supposed to cuss on air. Sorry, Victor.
I'm not. I say fundamentals all the time. But
I'm about to cuss. I'm about to cuss again.
Uh-oh.
Colin Kaepernick.
You tripping.
Wait, I didn't do that right. Try again with the volume.
You tripping.
I haven't had my caffeine yet. Why are you bringing up Colin Kaepernick here?
I have.
Or dare I ask such a question?
I know. How dare I? Yes, I know, Vika. I am cursing again.
We both are.
The audacity of this, I'll say it, fool, to come out and say, at 35 years old, I still want to shot the NFL, when you had numerous opportunities to go back in.
Wait. Back up. That take right there just takes a tremendous...
I wasn't finished.
Sorry. Premature.
You jumping the gun there, buddy. But rather than humble yourself and take a minimum contract or take a lower contract than what you were paid with the 49ers when you almost won a Super Bowl with them in 2012, instead of evolving your game, elevating your game and evolving your game to become a pocket passer and not so much as a running quarterback, quote unquote.
There you go, cussing again. Pocket passer.
I know. I'm sorry. Sorry, CSTV. I'll try to keep it cleaner. But rather than humble himself, he was just so full of himself with his just
bravado
and his braggadocio about being a great quarterback when he was not. He was exposed.
Yeah, he was.
And when you're exposed, you have to change your game. And he refused to do that. And he lost his starting job to Blaine Gabbert.
Of all quarterbacks to lose your starting job to,
which again,
you lost your starting job to Blaine Gabbert. And
I will point out until the end of time that Blaine Gabbert has a Super Bowl ring and Colin Kaepernick does not.
Does not. Hey, no argument there.
And I actually saw
that.
I was doom scrolling. I mean, perusing social media the other day, and I happened to see Shady Sports Network. Good old Sam.
Wait a minute. You were doing what?
I was doom scrolling. Perusing social media, and happened to find that Shady Sports Network had quote tweeted. I believe it was Avi, what's his face, and who said Colin Kaepernick comes out and says that at 35 years old, he could still play in the NFL. But Sam Shady, good on him. No, he said it himself.
Thanks,
good on Sam to point this out, that he could have played in the USFL. He could have played in the CFL. He could have played in the XFL. And didn't take those opportunities. To which I had replied.
Let me say good morning to this gentleman. Just became a patron this past weekend. So thank you very much for that. Patreon.com/SDM Sports Radio Network. If anyone else wants to join. Larry loves your word, which I've done a lot less of. Thank God for that. And the vacation taught me to do less of that, which was doom scrolling.
I promise no therapy sessions like Thursday with Cool McCain. Nothing like that. No therapy sessions that turned into a wrestling promo when Larry would add
a 45-minute wrestling promo.
Content gold. But anyway, I'm going back to my original point. So when Sam Shady correctly pointed out that Colin Kaepernick could have gone to any of these other leagues to get himself a contract and keep playing football, he didn't. So, which I replied and said, well, he could have gone to the Albany Empire. Sorry. To which I replied, wait for it.
Quote.
Colin Kaepernick could have gone to the Albany Empire. Oh, wait.
Close quote.
If there's one person who needed a job that Antonio Brown could have offered, it was Colin Kaepernick, not Cam Newton. Come on.
This one's for you. And now a selection from the Wonderberg Choir entitled Humble Yourself.
Humble yourself.
And again, Colin Kaepernick.
You fool!
I'll do more on that at the top of the hour. He actually thinks he could still play. When after week 1 of the 2013 season, when he lit up Green Bay for 412 yards, he hasn't done a doggone thing since then.
Yeah. And when teams figure you out, you have to evolve. It's evolve or die in the NFL. He didn't. He stayed stubborn. He was stubborn and he kept going on with his game. And then there was that one disastrous performance he had. I can't remember which game it was, but That was basically the end of Colin Kaepernick in the NFL.
Against the Bears.
That's what it was, against the Chicago Bears.
2016 against the Bears at Soldier Field when he had a passer rating number that is less than my oldest granddaughter. And she just turned 13.
0.0.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and I figured
with Zach Wilson's worst game.
Oh my gosh, his worst game against the New England Patriots wasn't that bad.
0.0, and yet he still thinks he can play.
0.0.
And he actually thinks he could still play.
Yeah. I mean, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I mean, I get it with the whole social activism thing. Yeah, great. Do that. Do that off the field. Do that stuff off the field.
And it hampered him on it.
It did. It got into it. He was so concentrated. He was so focused on his social justice thing that he just didn't know.
And he messed up.
Didn't know how to play. And the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. And I guess the rest of the owners found, and the rest of the teams found out in the NFL that, and I could see that. And we talk about the owners colluding to keep him out of the league. In a way, yes, I could see it, but there was probably a reason why. If your performance if your stuff off the field affects your performance on the field, you are not going to last in the NFL.
No, you're not. You're not. And that's what he doesn't get.
Oh,
his performance off his stuff off the field affected his performance on it. And you said it best: evolve or die. Best quarterback that wore a 49er uniform who was taught to evolve or die, Steve Young.
Yep.
Because Steve Young was scrambling for his life in his years with the USFL, with the Los Angeles Express. Of course, we know the doom scrolling he went through with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he was doing a lot of scrambling with the 49ers early on. Even in his first MVP year of 1992, he did more running. But in the middle of that year came the evolution of Steve Young. In the middle of the 92 season.
Yeah. And when a quarterback needs to do a couple things. One of those things is to trust your offensive line to block for you in front to do that.
I'm sorry. Did you say trust your offensive line?
Yeah, I cussed again. Man, I'm filthy this morning.
We both are.
Espresso McCarthy is here. With a shot of Irish cream.
We must have the Irish cream, lads.
Boy. Oh, I forgot to mention before I start this morning, I want to send my thoughts and prayers and condolences to my co-host Dustin, because Kyrie Irving has now a Dallas Maverick for the next 3 years.
I never thought I'd do this to Dustin, but I'll do it anyway. And now a selection from the Wonder Bread Choir entitled "You Fool."
Poor Dustin.
Why? Okay.
He never wanted Kyrie back on his team. He never wanted Kyrie back on the Mavericks.
Do you blame him?
No, I don't, because he stole Luka's smile. Just like Shawn Michaels back in the day when he stole from Luka. Announcement he made on Monday Night Raw. My smile is gone. And Kyrie stole Luka's smile. It's gonna come to a point where it's gonna be either Luka or Kyrie. And Luka's gonna.
It was that way anyway. It was that way anyway.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
And I have a bold prediction.
What,
I have a very bold prediction.
What, they're gonna tank?
No.
Oh, damn.
I think Luka's gonna force his hand into a trade, and I think he's gonna wind up in the New York Knicks.
You fool!
I walked into that one. But he's going to wind up going somewhere that is going to want a scorer, a prime scorer. And thankfully, I'm just thankful that the Knicks haven't decided to do the really foolish thing and get James Harden, My goodness. He'd be at Scores every single night in New York City after their game. That's where he would be.
Any team that takes a chance on James Harden right now.
You fool!
Any team that takes a chance on James Harden. Why would you? Why would you want to take a chance on someone who clearly is not the man and clearly is not worth the effort?
The juice is not worth the squeeze.
Bingo. Now, of course, I got to get Cole to visualize that. Kevin Wilson in the house. What was never reported about Colin Kaepernick was what kind of contract he wanted. If he wanted top money, he was never going to get it. Ain't that the truth? Here's the problem. He had $20 million on the table with San Francisco and opted out.
Yep.
Idiot.
That's okay. He's making more. He's making more money now than he did when he was in the NFL with those ridiculous Netflix specials and with bad history.
Boy, ain't that the truth.
NFL is really a modern day slave trade. What? Come on. And now a selection from the Wonder Bread Choir entitled Get Your History Right.
He said what?
He compared the NFL Combine to he called it basically a modern day slave trade.
Excuse me.
You for real?
Bitch, are you for real? Bitch, please.
Sorry.
And Sam put it correctly. If the NFL Combine's a modern day slave trade, sign me up for slavery. Then me too. Me too. I'll give you my stats already. I'm 45 years old. I'm 5'11". I can play interior defensive lineman or get back into pass coverage. I may look slow. I'm slow, but I'm agile.
To Colin Kaepernick's statement, I'll repeat what McCarthy just said. And now a selection from the Wonder Bread Choir entitled Get Your History Right, will you please? Yes, I extended it.
That was the extra special deluxe edition, though, with with spearmint ice milk.
Mm-hmm. With spearmint ice milk.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Good Lord. Ryan McCarthy joining us as he does always. Catch Coffee with McCarthy each and every Monday, and on the new Snowman in the Morning YouTube channel, you will see this clip cut from the main show. We'll spread the word about Coffee with McCarthy. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you so much.
Just want to give a heads up, show plug, if I don't mind for a second. We're having this week's edition of No Corrections Required is going to be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to review Moneyball, and we're going to continue our summer debate series as well.
That ought to be fun. I might have to get in on that. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks so, man.